everyone, and welcome back to another video with me, Shruti. You're watching Living Our Ascension. So today, is one day before Holi. We have this festival called Holi in India, and it's called the Festival of Colors. And I think it's the onset of spring. So happy Holi to everybody. And that's why, if you hear any children playing, then that's the noise in the background because they're celebrating Holi. So today's reading is going to be as usual for the whole week ahead, and I hope that you enjoy it, and if you do, then please subscribe to this channel, and you can share this video as well so that other people also receive the message, the messages. So what we're going to do is, as usual, we're going to choose either number 1, 2 or 3. These are just a number. Just pick any number that's coming to you. So we're using this deck called the Heart and Soul Angel cards, and this is like a really very nice deck that has all these rays, it's kind of like more abstract. So what comes through is these rays and colors, these light codes basically through them, and kind of like we have all of this stuff going on, like the coronavirus and just this lower energy stuff, aside from even when we have celebrations. So I thought that these higher messages might be beneficial for us now, and just as I was saying that these birds were flying, kind of like related to flight and messages and the higher picture. So I'm just going to shuffle now and just pick number 1, 2 or 3 as I'd said before, and then after that you can just scroll to that time slot. Look at the time slots that are below this video. And also I forgot to say, if you would like to have personal services with me, I have lots of different kinds of personal services. You can avail of them, and they're all on my blog, and the link to that also will be below this video. It's www.livingourascension.blogspot.com. So now just scroll to your message. I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you have a lovely week ahead. So if you chose number 1, let's see what you get. We just have all of these cards, and I'm just going to pick one for number 1. So let me just put the rest of them down. So the card that you get is this one. And I'm just gonna show you the image first, and then after that I'm gonna give you my interpretation of this. So while I'm looking at the book, because there's a really nice book for this oracle deck which has the name of the frequency that they're trying to depict, and here it is. It says it's the twin horses. The twin horses, divine will and wisdom. The card of love's paths, absolute truth and ancient wisdom. So so in this image, as you can see, there's these 2 horses that are there. One is made of light and the other is darker. And this is interesting because kind of like these colors, black and white together, they kind of represent the spirit aspect and the feminine aspect, the spirit and matter aspect, the masculine and feminine aspect within creation. And they're just emerging from source, that's what it looks like. There's this light that's there, they're emerging from it, and there's both these aspects, and they're finally kind of like moving together. So I feel that that's what your message is, that when we emerge from source, when we are born, there's an aspect of us that is both spirit as well as an aspect of us that is matter as well. And often the human can be disconnected from one or the other. They can be too spiritual and just off in these realms. They can be the opposite as well, where they're just too based in the material and what's happening in the physical, and they're not really looking at the larger picture in life. So I feel that there's a meeting of the two that is happening for you for this week, and while this happens, this is a really high level vibration. It's not just one level of is not just one level of the meeting of the feminine and masculine, because we go through different phases of that in ascension. There's different levels of coming into balance, coming into the meeting of the masculine and the feminine. There's one above the other, like there's different higher levels, but I feel like this is one of the higher ones. So either it's a significant gateway that you're moving through, a significant initiation, or for some of us it could be coming into our soul level, perhaps just a few, but for some people this message might vibrate where they're coming into their soul, twin soul frequency, and I'm not going to say any more about that because I don't want to give away too much information, because then people latch onto that information and then they make something else of it. Whereas when you're going through it, it's like an intrinsic process, and the human knows it, so it's just to kind of bring a message to them. So so these two aspects, either way, if you are listening to this message, you have moved into the next level of union, within your masculine and feminine energies, and there's this just union that's there, and you might have gone through something a little bit more difficult recently regarding, let's say, relationships or empowerment in your life. Especially we come into our feminine and masculine, that balance, a lot of the time when through our relationships, through the challenges that happen in our relationships, we have to let people go or whatever that might be, but just some challenges. So if you have gone through these and you have had to make some empowering choices recently, then that was what was needed actually to move into the next step. Often we don't know that while we're doing it, while we're going through it, we wonder why we have to go through certain things, but this was the reason, and that's like a celebration for you now, and it's you're probably feeling it, and in the beginning you can feel a bit raw when you move into a new level of empowerment as well. It doesn't feel like it has to do with power. It just feels more raw and vulnerable, but you will start feeling it hopefully this week. That's what the message is. There's this sense of union and running together, so both these aspects within you are in unison. So yeah, that's it. I hope that message resonates with you. Let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. So if you chose number 2, let's see what your card is. We have all of these cards here, and we're just going to pick one for number 2. Okay, so this is the one that you get. So this is what your card looks like. You can have a look at it first, and I'm just finding it in the book for you so that I can speak about this vibration. So it says here, Shakiel, guardian angel of the sky, the card for sun, moon, stars and nature guidance. So this is a beautiful image that is about nature. This color white often relates to, it's like the higher ray of nature, the color white, and green is of course the more physical ray. We all know, like trees, grass. When we think of nature, one of the main colors we'll think of is green, and it's the ray of nature, the physical elemental beings even. But the higher ray of nature is white because it's the white ray of creation, and nature is like a pure aspect of creation. So I'm just having a look at this image and feeling into it, and I'm really feeling like, although nature is everything, I'm feeling a sense of clouds here, especially because of the white that's there and how the image looks. So I feel that there has been some ambiguity in the messages that were coming through to you, and perhaps that was because you were coming into a new level of empowerment. That seems to be happening this week because it's the second message now regarding that. Just as I'm speaking, I'm realizing this, but there was some confusion or something wasn't clear, and that reflects just where you were in your journey in this cycle of coming into empowerment. And but now this week, that is becoming more physical. So what happens is, when we're moving into empowerment, first we embrace a certain level of light. It's like the crown chakra opens up and light enters, the white ray, and then it penetrates through our body, through all of the chakras, and then makes something very physical. So this green ray, it relates to balance, it relates to good health, it relates to balance in relationships. It's just overall, this ray of grace, of physical health, prosperity. So it's like balance and prosperity on all levels, really. Just when we experience this state of grace. That's why white and green together can represent grace. White being that higher ray of grace, like a diamond level, and green being just this more physical, like ray of grace as well. Kind of like a more feminine aspect. So I really feel that you'll be feeling that, that you've moved into a new level. There's like this new door that's opening for you, and you're feeling it, and you're at that state where you're not even looking for anything physical to manifest, to show up as a blessing or anything like that, which can be so typical of people who are, spiritual, quote unquote, and just waiting for these manifestations and blessings. And that is what the state of grace is. That is just this wholeness you feel from within, that you don't need anything really. It's just what more could you need when you feel perfectly balanced, you feel perfectly content, everything is balanced and peaceful and graceful, whether that's your health or your relationships, your career, your inflow and outflow of abundance. And there isn't a sense of needing an excessive amount of anything, all of those things, whether that's people connections or things of the physical nature, material objects, and whatever it might be. There's just this balance that's there with eating as well, and with food, the nutrition, and so you'll be feeling this grace, this new level of balance. And it doesn't automatically mean that it stays forever. You'll be feeling it definitely, because these cards come up for a while, maybe for a week or two, and then it's up to you to kind of retain that energy. So this energy is predominantly available for you, easily, readily available for you now, and it's moving into your body, so it's like there, it's predominant. But it's up to you to kind of know what that feels like, and then choose it, in your reality as well. But you can be proud of yourself, because this is what you have activated as well, and obviously through certain choices that you made, and there's just new doors opening for you, because that's what happens when we move at a level of grace, and just not needing anything, just being in balance. Then all of life reflects that balance and that ease of being. So I hope this message resonated with you. Let me know in the comments below. And that's it. Please enjoy your week and have a really lovely time. And that's it. So if you chose number 3, we're just gonna pick a card for you from here. So let's just pick something like this one. Oh wow, so this card actually came up as part of it was the first message that was there for us. And it's interesting that this wants to come up again for number 3. I'm being guided to pick up one more, as well, aside from this, because this is already what we got for number 1. So let's see, I'm going to pick one more card now. Oh, and this is what you get as the second card. So just tune into these images first, and I will explain in just a bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through this book that I have of, that came with these cards, and find what this is about. So since you got, the first card that we got as option number 1, you might want to listen to that message as well, if at all you're guided. Because I'm not going to repeat what was in the book for that, but I will speak about this one in the book. So in the book it says the bowl of divine fire of creation, the card of the red flames of vitality, courage and compassion. Vitality, courage and compassion. Okay. So what's interesting here is that these are both very high vibrational cards, and this one especially relates to the fire of creation. So it's like that passion, when we're born, it's said that we are like a flame that always exists in source, that can never die. Not even just when we're born. This is more like when we are born, we're born as this twin soul polarity that's there, you know, the masculine and feminine aspects of us, of a soul, you can say. And before that, we just exist as this fire, and even while we are this, you know, at the same time we're always this fire, you know, the spark that always exists at a higher level. And even in this card you can see that this is like fire, you know, source, and this is the two aspects coming out. So this is forming like a trinity, and the trinity is union, you know, of the highest level. It's not even just the balance of the masculine and feminine. It's kind of like an even higher, more elevated level where they're able to come into unison and co-create together, you know. And this doesn't have to mean two different people. It can be aspects of you, or it can be, you know, a partnership with another person. But what is there is this primal co-creation that happens, you know. We start creating from pure passion, and this passion is not even that I feel like this is my desire, or I feel like this is just something that I want to create. It's just life moving through you. It's like this I exist is the highest frequency, and just because I exist, I know that I am alive. And you know, I'm alive, and that's it. Like, I am life, I serve life. So it's that very first, very singular, you know, passion that's there. And so I feel that, you know, that perhaps you are coming into partnership with other people. There might be your co-workers, there might be other people that you are in relationship with, and you'll be finding that these connections are, you're able to co-create at a new level, you know, at a more pure level than you have so far. So it might be, you know, any new place that you go to, you find them, or just somehow they will find a way, you know, to be in your life. And it's this new level of co-creation that's there, and it's reflecting something that you have done within yourself. Like, there's this new elevation that's happened, and that's what this whole reading's about. Number 1, 2 and 3 actually are speaking about the fact that we have come into a new level of being within ourselves. You know, this was probably the wave that went through, and those going on the path of ascension, you know, if they are open, then they can elevate to a certain level with the different waves that are presented to us, that are us really. But how much we elevate ourselves is up to us. Of course, that's not exactly the same for everyone, but there is this overall message of evolution that's there. And you know, perhaps this being the highest, where it's not just the union of the masculine and feminine, but it's really the purest union, where you get to co-create, and you get to co-create at a new level that's purer, and coming from that, just this pure desire, you know, this pure desire of just being alive, and that's it, needing no other reason, no other agenda. And what I feel is that there's also this ancient energy that is there in this card, because it's like there's these more alive, vibrant colors, but you can see that there's also these darker, earthy colors that are there. You know, it's kind of like this wisdom that is just old. And you're drawing from the energy of the masters, you know, that have lived before you, that have been on the planet, or in physical bodies within creation. And you can kind of pull from that energy. You might be getting intuitive hints, or just feeling the master within you at a new level. And that is the light of you know, what the different masters have served. It kind of like there's this wisdom that's there, that's present, you know, like a pool of energy that we can draw from when we hit a certain vibration, when we have that willingness to serve at the same level, you know. And it's within purity, without all of these hidden agendas that are there about power and needing to feel a certain way about ourselves. But because you have hit that level of purity, and you're just like an empty vessel, you know, you can absorb that wisdom, and through that there's this new creation that is being coming, that is birthing. And so there might be some ascended master or some being that you want to listen to their work, you know, whoever it might be. It might be a book that found its way to you, it might be a video, it might be just an image that you see, you know, or a certain ascended master energy, like a ray, like a color ray. And then you can Google, you know, if like, let's say a certain ray is coming up in your life again and again, like the yellow ray, then, you know, for example, I think Lord Kutumi is the master of the yellow ray, you know. When it comes, like, let's say it's the color blue, dark blue, then you know, like even in the angelic realms, it's Archangel Michael, for example, is associated with the color blue, you know. Saint Germain, ascended master with violet. So all of these ascended masters and angel energies, you don't have to necessarily believe in them at that level, you know, that's not your thing, but you can read about their qualities. When you Google it, you know, it'll be about the qualities that they embodied, what kind of work they did that are associated with certain colors and qualities. So that it might be the birth of that in your life, and when you read it, it's kind of like something will there'll be a spark that is ignited within you, which is leading to some co-creation that is there. So yeah, I don't want to go on and on. I hope that I brought the message home, but this is a really high vibrational energy, and yeah, that's it. You'll be feeling it this week, descending, you know, more and more within the body, and just feeling what that feels like, you know, even though you might not fully be feeling it yet, but it'll become more and more familiar. And so hopefully we all get to use that, you know, through this more new information that's coming in, it becomes more and more solid. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this message. Let me know in the comments below if anything resonated with you, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.